Thank you all for being here. As I know, there was a much more important basketball game that was being held in Jacksonville State earlier this morning, where Homewood unfortunately did not come away as the victor. So I'm glad that you guys are all here. I know some people are missing because they're up there, but we do appreciate that. Well, here we are again. Another year has passed, and we're here at the beautiful Valley Hotel to discuss everything that's happened over the last year and look forward to what we have in store in 24. If you would indulge me, I do want to take a few minutes to talk through the events of December of last year. We've been through a lot in Homewood over the last couple of months, and certainly the recent storms that hit our great city are something that I have not experienced in my 46 years here. Families are still recovering from the tornadoes that left houses, vehicles, and personal belongings in shambles. We continue to pray for those families affected by the storms and for recovery efforts to help rebuild and replace what can be replaced. In spite of this terrible weather event that happened before Christmas, I was so inspired but not at all surprised by the immediate community response that we had here in Homewood. Driving around early the next morning, myself and JJ Bischoff, just to check on residents and businesses, there were already people outside with chainsaws, trucks, other tools, neighbors helping neighbors who had experienced damage from the storms. That is what this community is. Homewood has always answered the call and rallies around each other in time of need. We support each other when the chips are down, and we continue to lift each other up until the inevitable darkness passes. So I want to thank all those who answered that call, from the city street crews, Berkeley and your group, our tree removal vendor, the Homewood Police Department, Chief Ross, the Homewood Fire Department, Battalion Chief Broadhead, and your staffs, and anybody else who has helped or continues to help in these recovery efforts. So emotional part out of the way. Speaking of thanks, I do want to say a big thanks to the Chamber of Commerce members, the Chamber Board of Directors. Hugh, thank you so much for the introduction, and of course our fantastic Chamber Director, Meredith Drennan, for putting this event together and allowing me to speak to you guys today. For those of you who don't know, Meredith's family was directly affected by the storms last December. But let me assure you that has not slowed her down one iota. And I want you to know that our community has benefited from you being here. We know this, you got one more to go, but just know how much you appreciate it here. Sorry, I got a Meredith. I also want to thank our presenting sponsors, AmFirst Credit Union and Homewood Life. Thank you both for organization of this year's State of the City address, as well as the Valley Hotel. Again, thank you for hosting us in your wonderful facility. The project's statistics and presentation that you will see and hear about shortly would not be possible without the support and dedication from several people who are in attendance today. Building a better Homewood, which has been my mantra since the election in 2020, takes coordination, communication, and follow-through. And these people who I'm about to mention possess those qualities, and it shows through their passion and love of this great community. I could not do my job without their support and encouragement. So once I call your name, if you would, please stand and be recognized. Our city councilors, Andy Gwaltney, Melanie Gear, Carlos Alamon, Andrew Wolverton, Nick Sims, Walter Jones, Barry Smith, Jalete Nelms, Jennifer Andrus, John Harden, and our council president, Alex Wyatt. From building signs to new businesses in Homewood, from budgets to policies, these people see it all. They work tirelessly each and every day, and because this can sometimes seem like a thankless job, I'm here once again to say thank you for what you guys do. And I would be completely remiss if I did not say a personal thank you to Alex Wyatt for his leadership through these last few years. I forget who this quote came from, but Alex is the type of guy that can calm the situation, and he can tell you no and make you think that that was the actual answer you wanted to begin with. which is incredible. Still don't know how you do that, but congratulations. So thank you, my friend, for your support, constructive criticism, and for your professionalism that you show. I'd also like to thank all my department heads and their staff for the incredible work that has been done over the last year. I continuously learn from these great people and their vast experience, and I am certainly glad to have them here in Homewood. If you are here, please stand when I call your name. Berkeley Squires, Parks and Rec, and Streets and Sanitation Departments. Chief Ross, our police chief. Cale Smith, our city engineer. Wyatt Pugh from our inspections department. I know he couldn't be here today. Judith Wright with our library. And John Morgan with our court system. I don't believe he's here either. And as you mayor, you guys can sit down. Thank you. I won't make you stand up for this, but as you may or may not know, we have several department heads who have decided to retire this year. And I want to be sure to thank each one of them personally for their dedication to their job and to the many years with the city of Homewood. So we have Melody Clark, city clerk. Robert Burgett, finance director. I know Robert's here. There he is. Chief Nick Hill with the fire department. And Gordon James, who reluctantly showed up today. I'm so glad you're here, Gordon. I really do appreciate it. But these four individuals have combined several decades of wisdom and experience at their positions, and I wanted to thank each of you for leaving Homewood in a better way than you found it when you got here. So thank you guys. I also want to take just a second to thank our city attorney, Mike Kendrick, who is not here. His wealth of knowledge is unmatched, and I appreciate all the advice and dedication that he has given to the city of Homewood and to me. And lastly, and certainly most importantly, my chief of staff, J.J. Bischoff. Just a hand raise, that's all you get. His passion for Homewood and his gracious attitude are something that I strive for every single day. He is a dear friend, and I can't thank him enough for all that you do for me and for the city of Homewood, so thank you, JJ. So today we will cover a variety of topics that are important to the fabric of Homewood, as well as some of the things that are on the horizon. Unfortunately, and I say this in capital letters, unfortunately, we cannot begin to talk about Homewood without the wonderful topic of garbage. While this was one of the most difficult decisions that we've had to make here in Homewood over the last decade, I still believe that it is the right decision. We expected hiccups in the beginning from both a logistical standpoint and from a historical perspective in regards to residents. It is never easy to have change in a city service, but with the difficulty in staffing and the changing in the workforce market, this was the best option for us moving forward. There are still challenges that we're facing, but with the entire Cahaba Solid Waste Authority on the same page, we have explained our position to our vendor, and will continue to press for that level of service that we expect. I personally apologize for the issues we've had so far, but we are seeing progress, and I expect our vendor to deliver moving forward. We are also excited to hear about the city manager discussions and their progression. We had a meeting last night, and Alex gave a great update, but we expect to see a special election in the coming months. There will be petition information that you will see, as well as information on the topic of the city manager form of government and additional public meetings in the weeks to come. So please be looking for that. And all of that information will be posted on city website and social media channels. I continue to receive questions about the Brookwood Mall property. And believe me, I am just as anxious as you are to hear about any plans from the developer side. This project is taking time, but it is very important for many reasons. But you can imagine how difficult it is when you're talking about 3 different municipalities and 2 different property owners all trying to come together to work one big project. All of these parties working together is essential, and Mayor Welch and myself have made sure that that's what happens. Our hope is that in the near future we have an opportunity to see and hear the grand plan for this piece of property. And once we hear something, we will afford the property owners the ability to present their design to the general public, both from a Mountain Brook standpoint and from a Homewood standpoint. West Homewood is booming, as expected, and that will only increase with the addition of the new development on Oxmoor Road, where the old Econo Lodge was previously. We also have The Edge coming to Green Springs corridor, offering multiple new restaurant concepts and other businesses to the Homewood area, and perfectly situated for walkability between Edgewood and West Homewood. So I know JJ's here. So JJ, thank you for that. It's a real turnaround, so we appreciate you. The Homewood Central Park Playground is currently under renovation in order to make it safer for those coming to the park, as well as offering more accessibility to those with disabilities. While we are all saddened by the move of the beloved Caterpillar, I know it will be incorporated within the new design so that we can all still visit this Homewood landmark. And lastly, before we get into the presentation, I want to remind everyone to continue to use the Speak to Us Homewood function on the city website. Thank you, Brian, so much for everything that you do with the website and for passing along the words that we get. But from issues to garbage that I mentioned earlier, to potholes, to a variety of other problems, or we want to hear your concerns. So although we would like to, we simply cannot catch everything as it happens. So please, if you notice something, be sure to utilize that function and let us know what you're seeing so we can get it taken care of as promptly as possible. As always, today's slide portion of the presentation is just a brief overview of the things that we are working on, the statistical information by department for 2023. It can seem like a lot of information, well, because it is a lot of information, but all of this will be available through the city website once we're finished today. So if you would, please bear with me as we go through this. Just to take a look at some of the numbers, so our annual fiscal year-end surplus report, the preliminary unaudited net revenues over expenditures for fiscal year 22-23 is just under $200,000. And this was after expensing $365,000 for employee bonuses at the end of last year. The city approved a 4% COLA for all employees for fiscal year 23-24, and the city picked up all the health insurance increase for the employees as well. We also upgraded both the police and fire personnel 10% from the Jefferson County Personnel Board regrades. Total fund balance just under $30 million. This includes the rainy day fund with $10.6 million, Iberia savings account at $7.4, and Bryant Bank at $1.5. Some of our FY 23-24 capital highlights. Because of just a little note, because of bond refunding and ARPA, we have actually been able to save more for the capital projects fund, and as of 9/30/23, this account has $3.8 million in it. Again, these numbers are unaudited. Some of the projects that we have on the horizon, $594,000 budgeted to use the remaining ARPA funds for stormwater repair and replacement. We have $375,000 for the Delcrest sidewalks in West Homewood. $170,000 for the Central Avenue TAP project, $515,000 in new police vehicles. I know that was something that was important to Chief and his staff, as well as the fire department has $263,000 in fire building improvements. We have $414,000 in street vehicles, and then $1.2 million budgeted for Parks and Rec. The GOW fund still has $2.8 million in the diverging diamond over I-65. $850,000 for the final piece of the Green Springs revitalization, which is the sidewalk that will be on the east side of Green Springs from Broadway down to Lakeshore to connect that neighborhood, as well as $430,000 for the Reach Street project, which we'll hear about in just a minute. Homewood Police Department, just incredible job last year, guys. I mean, honestly, incredible job. 18% decrease in overall crime based on their 10-year average, and 12% decrease in overall crime last year alone. Burglaries were down 30% last year and down 41% based on the 10-year average. Vehicle thefts were up 22% from last year. This is the second year in a row for that increase. So Chief Ross and myself would like to remind you, please lock your doors. Please lock your doors. Those vehicle thefts happen a lot easier when they have, very little barrier to be able to get inside. Sex crimes are down 10% with great thanks to our Special Investigations Unit department. This is the second year in a row for that decrease. It includes 11 subject arrests for crimes against children and 36 subject arrests for human trafficking. Homicides are down 66% from last year, and theft as a total was down 18%. These decreases are especially noteworthy since the calls for service just last year alone went from 38,500 to over 47,000 in '23. That's 10,000 additional calls, and the percentages still went down. So Chief, you and your staff, very, very good job. Thank you so much. Homewood Fire Department, you can see some of the call numbers there to the left of the screen. 109 fire calls in 2023. Just over 3,000 EMS or rescue calls, 74 calls for hazardous conditions, 21 severe weather calls, which I can't believe. It seems like there was a lot more. That was all one call? Sure, yeah, absolutely. And some of the statistics over on the right side, the busiest time of the week based on those call reports is Friday between 2 and 3. So just stay at home from Friday between 2 and 3. The Homewood Fire Department had a total of over 29,000 hours of training in 2023, with 72 hours of that deemed personnel training. They partnered with the neighboring communities to create the Over the Mountain Regional Training Center, bringing more technical training to our area and reducing travel time for training for our firefighters. We welcomed 5 new firefighters in '23, and we expect the delivery of Engine 2 in March of this year, replacing an old 1996 engine. And they inspected over 732 fire hydrants last year alone. This is the most in a decade, and that's attributed to the immense amount of growth that we have here in Homewood. All of the reconstruction and everything else, it takes its toll on the water supply. So thank you, Chief Broadhead, Battalion Chief Broadhead, and your staff for all the hard work you've done. The Homewood Library offered a new Library of Things in 2023, which included sewing machines, pressure washers, metal detectors, air quality monitors, drums, guitars, and more to our citizens and our members, allowed to utilize those items. So that's a great new program that was put in place. We had over 9,000 families participate in the summer reading program. Last year alone. The annual block party welcomed 1,300 community members to support the library, which is an additional 500 from last year. So we're getting over that COVID hump where we missed a couple of years, but seems our numbers are getting back up there where they should be. Renovations are also wrapping up, included updated restrooms, new carpet, and lighting. Some of the annual state statistical reports for Homewood Library is that we have the largest number of events in 2023 with 1,300 and almost 74,000 people in attendance. That's the highest number of attendance for those events and the highest number of borrowed items for a library their size. So over 500,000 items checked out in 2023, which is incredible. So Judith, thank you so much. Citywide projects and updates. We mentioned a few of these in the beginning, but I'll go back through them because I know everybody is very interested in these. The Delcra Sidewalk Project, Phase 2 in Forest Brook, begins construction soon. The Stormwater Master Plan is completed. That was something that we had focus on last year, and thanks to Cale and his team for getting that done. And we continue to work on those repairs and replacements. We also received an ADEM grant to help with those major projects in that particular category. Green Springs Phase 2, which I mentioned earlier, will be underway this year. And then the Greenway Phase 2, the additional 1.5 mile or 1.4 mile pedestrian facility, will open in the next few months. I know Jen and her group have been out there and have taken a look at it, so even though you're not supposed to yet, there are runners all over it, so you know, we deal with it. But we're very excited about the Greenway Phase 2 being completed. The Central Avenue multimodal facility is currently under design and should start in the late summer. We have continued paving projects around the city this year. We're totaling $815,000 in new paving projects to make sure the roads are smooth for everybody. The Reese Street Sidewalk project begins in spring of '24. I know Councilor Gwaltney's been waiting on that for a while, so we're excited about that particular project. Again, the city manager discussion continues, and update for that special election should be out in the next month or so. The Salter Road Pocket Park, thank you to Sanford and its members who are here for working with the city on this, is completed, and the grand opening should be happening soon. So if you've driven down Salter Road and see that brand new pocket park, that sits there on the right side of the road on the backside of Sanford. We're excited about that opening, and I know those neighbors are. We've already had people that are out there sitting at the park benches and just enjoying the day. And then the Griffin Creek Wall Assessment, that's a lot to say, is complete. Repairs and replacements will begin on those in the next few months. Homewood City Schools, give you an update on them. Once again, named the #1 best school district in the Birmingham area and the #1 district with the best teachers in Alabama in 2023 by Niche. Homewood City Schools named one of only 3 districts in Alabama to have more than 20% of its teachers achieving national board certification, currently employing 45 nationally board certified teachers and 23 who are pursuing the same. Named Best Community for Music Education for the last 17 years by the National Association of Music Merchants. We have 480 students who are enrolled in the advanced AP courses in the 23-24 school year, which is a record year. Homewood High School is ranked one of the top 5 best high schools in Alabama by U.S. News and World Report. And we have 10 seniors who received national honors this year, including 3 students who were selected for the College Board National African American Recognition Program. 86% of seniors from last year entered into 69 different colleges in 2023. Last year we had 6A state championships in both girls soccer and in boys track. And if you haven't noticed them already, I'm sure you will. Capital improvements of parking lot at the Homewood High School, as well as the entrance and the home side upgrades to Waldrop Stadium. I know we were trying to have that done by football season, but didn't quite make it. So we've been assured that it will be ready to go by next year to cheer on the Patriots. Homewood Chamber of Commerce. I know you guys, most of you who are members here have seen some of the updates, but I do want to make sure that I mention them as well. 49 new members in 2023. We had 20 ribbon cuttings. We started the new small business spotlight campaign this year and have already awarded 2 retailers with this great distinction. So we're very excited about that. Pebblehurst over in downtown Homewood, as well as O. Henry's Coffee, who is celebrating 30 years in the Homewood in Homewood City. So congratulations to those 2 retailers. We have 1 Retailer of the Year award, which was Saul's Barbecue. And talking to Meredith, that's very hard to get a Retailer of the Year award for a restaurant. So very impressed that Saul's was able to do that this year. They hosted 10 luncheons, 3 shopping events, and numerous community-wide events, including, of course, Homewood for the holidays, Taste of Homewood, the Homewood Sidewalk Sale, and the Hop and Shop. Homewood Park and Recreation. The Homewood Community Center saw just under 70,000 people with over 1,100 instructor classes in 2023. The Homewood Senior Center just under 9,000 while hosting 721 classes and programs. They also served over 5,500 meals as a participant in the Jefferson County Senior Nutrition Program. Lee Community Center saw just under 9,000 visitors last year. The Central Pool, over 33,000 visitors, and Patriot Pool, over 23,000 visitors. If you look at some of our sports in the recreation part, Homewood Tennis Club has 95 teams. That's an 18% increase over last year alone, which is incredible. 20 area championships, 4 state champions, and 1 Southern Region champion. Homewood Tackle Football, we have an 8% increase over 22 with the addition of the cheerleaders, 106 players and 250 cheerleaders. The cheerleaders are the 8% increase over 2022 with the addition of flag football. Two of our 4 tackle football teams between 3rd and 6th grade competed in their championship games, and 1 was crowned as champion. Homewood Soccer Club, just over 2,200 participants in 23 with 1 state championship, 2 runners-up, and 2 third-place teams. Patriot Youth Baseball and Softball. I see some previous baseball board members here, so I know how impressive you guys worked to get this stuff done. But they had 573 baseball participants, which is an increase of 3%, with 20 teams reaching the regional postseason and crowning 10 championship teams or runners-up. Homewood Basketball, 926 participants between boys and girls in rec basketball, and 135 in the Over the Mountain League. 135 teams in total between the leagues, which is incredible because it's just 6 less teams than Hoover Park and Recreation, and we are 1/3 their size. So basketball is incredibly important here in Homewood. And then Homewood Lacrosse, 107 participants in 23, and we will actually be welcoming USA Lacrosse into Homewood for a expose on lacrosse in the South. So we're very excited about that, actually partnering with both Homewood and Stanford for that particular piece. And then Homewood swim team had 450 members, an increase of almost 70 swimmers from the previous year. All right, this is always one of the most fun slides for everybody to see, but this is just a Homewood real estate update. Through the National Association of Realtors, the median estimated home value in Homewood is $556,000. That's a 3% increase in median home values in Homewood over the last year. As we all know, the real estate market was impacted by the highest interest rates in over a decade. These rates have decreased in the last month, and hopefully they'll settle in the mid-5s to low 6s, which will have yet another positive impact on home sales here in Homewood. The Birmingham Association of Realtors has this information. There were 323 homes sold in 2023 compared to 390 in 22, so a 21% decrease. It just means people are happy. They're not leaving. They want to be here. The average sale price in 23 was $512,000 compared to $531,000 in 2022. The median days on market were 4, and 108 of those homes were under contract within 48 hours as compared to 155 the prior year. Once again, and everybody knows this, I say it every year, but you have your opinions and they will likely be the same. But the reasons people choose Homewood are location and proximity to downtown Homewood, or downtown Birmingham, excuse me, the charm and character of Home Supply, our award-winning school system, family-centric, tight-knit community atmosphere, well-kept parks and recreation areas, and above-average walk score, as well as great public services from both our police and fire departments. So again, I want to thank you guys. All of this information will be available online. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to reach out to me. My email, my phone number, God willing, is on the website. So I am happy to take your call, but thank you so much for allowing me to serve Homewood. I really do. I care about the city so much. I've been here for a very long time, and I appreciate every one of you, so thank you.